my name's Angela Pittenger. I'm the Arizona Daily Star's Sensible Mom, and this is James Supp. Thanks for coming in today, James.
Oh, thank you for having me.
No problem. You might recognize James from Antiques Roadshow, and he also has his own appraisal shop called Coronado Trading Company. So what I thought we would do today is have James look at some items brought in by fellow staffers and to give us an idea if they're worth anything or not in case they want to resell them. So, first thing we have is a set of prints. It's called A History of Medicine in Pictures. And it's a set of several prints. James, what do you have to say about that?
Well, this is generally the kind of thing you'd find in a thrift store framed up. You'd see one of these, and you most likely wouldn't see the labels. They'd get the matting around it. And a lot of people would purchase these thinking they were, from the teens or the 20s, or they're antiques or are very valuable. But for the most part, they're really not. Most of the time, unless they're Currier and Ives prints, they're only worth maybe $5 to $10 a piece, no matter what the frame. This entire set was released by Park Davis and Company. It's only worth maybe $20 for the entire set in perfect shape.
Okay.
But that's typical of what you're going to see in framed in most thrift shops around Tucson right now.
Okay. Well, speaking of art, we have another piece of art. This one was brought in by reporter Gerald Gay, and he got this for a few dollars, I think, at an estate sale. What do you think about that one?
Well, this one's pretty typical of also what you'll find in some thrift stores if you get very, very lucky. It's a very faded print. Originally, these would have been colored bright red and blue and yellow, would have been very bright. I know this because there's another example of this in the British Museum. This is called Taylor's Hunting a Louse. It's from 1801, and it was drawn by Giles Grinnigan. So it's probably a pseudonym of some sort, a satirical cartoon of a bunch of suit makers smashing a louse. It is an original engraving that was hand watercolored, again, from 1801. And right now you could probably sell this for around $150 to $200.
Oh, wow.
Its retail value. But it's a great piece, great satire, and around the early 1800s, satirical pieces and political cartoons were very, very important. These are published by the hundreds.
Oh, wow.
And to have one in any sort of condition, let alone sitting in a thrift store framed in Tucson, you're doing pretty well to find it. Especially, you're only going to be paying $3 to $5 for these for the most part.
Sure. Well, Jared will be happy to know about that. And then this is a kind of cool looking, what is it, a calendar case? Kim Mattis brought in, it belonged to her grandfather or somebody.
Well, now it's a perpetual calendar, which means this one actually says for 20 years. What you can do is open up the cigarette case, and there's a little wheel inside that you can turn to adjust the year to the month. Oh, wow. And for 20 years, it'll tell you, what day of the week the first, the second, the third sits on, from years 1944 to 1963. The handy part about having that date on there, it dates the piece.
Yeah.
But identifying where it's from isn't so easy. If you look at it, it's made of stainless steel, fairly crude construction, but on the back, it has what looks like the Taj Mahal. And the style of decoration is very consistent with Indian style decoration from the mid-20th century. Value-wise, it isn't very high. It's in fairly good condition, but because it's only from 44 to 63, gives it a very specific date that it can be used for. It's more of a fun thing to have around the house, fun thing to play with. You can find stuff like this on Craigslist or Etsy for $10 to $15 roughly.
Okay. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much, James, for being here. I appreciate the input on those items.
No problem. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
And thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.